See guys, transport of gases. Coming to this topic, I'll explain you everything crystal clearly. But you need to do one thing. You need to just remember this thing. If you remember this thing, it's enough. Learning everything, I'll make you understand. Okay? Now let us start with the topic. Before starting with the topic, this graph is the main important thing in the topic. Okay, this graph will be explained detailed at last of the topic. Okay, but based on the graph there will be so many questions can be asked also. Okay, now let us go to the topic. The basic concept is this only, nothing but HbO2, oxyhemoglobin on dissociation gives me hemoglobin and O2, whereas hemoglobin and O2 on association gives me hemoglobin plus O2. Association occurs in alveoli, A for association, A for alveoli. Dissociation occurs in tissues. Okay, now let us see the cases where association and dissociation occurs. See now, to association to occur, if you see in chemistry, in chemical equilibrium, they'll say clearly that to forward in Le Chatelier principle, for forward reaction to occur, if one of the side, the product here, if any of these concentration is high, then forward reaction will occur. Okay, here what is happening? If O2 is high, if as hemoglobin will be sufficient, if hemoglobin is more than enough, if hemoglobin concentration, okay, is more than sufficient, so that it will not take my limiting reagent, and if O2 concentration is very high, then automatically HbO2 will be formed easily na. Okay, but if O2 concentration is very less, and if hemoglobin is more than enough also, there will be less amount of HbO2 will be formed. So let us tell about the conditions for association. Remember one thing, that hemoglobin will be present so much, so no need to think about hemoglobin. So other, what is other things? O2. Okay, so if partial pressure of O2 is high na, then automatically oxyhemoglobin will be formed. And then just remember like this, O2 and CO2 are opposite. Okay, O2 and CO2 are opposite. So if O2 is high, then CO2 must be low. Just remember that thing. And then now, CO2 is a greenhouse gas. If CO2 concentration increases, CO2 concentration increases, then automatically what happens? Because of greenhouse gases, the at the temperature will increase na. Okay, if greenhouse gas is less, then the temperature will not increase. Just remember like that. If CO2 is high here, if CO2 is high, so at temperature will increase na. So greenhouse gas, so temperature of earth will increase. Okay, and here just remember as a trick that acidity is equal to hotness. Just remember, I know both of them are not equal, but here just remember, if temperature is high, then it will be very hot now. So just okay, HDT will be high. If HDT is high, then H plus will be high and pH will be less. Same here, as PCO2 is less, so temperature is not increasing, so temperature decreases, so acidity will decrease, so H plus decreases and pH increases. Just it's a trick, just try to remember it, no need to uh, concentrate on it. Just for a trick, I'm telling you to mug up it as if easily like this. Okay, as I told you before, graph shift towards left association, graph shift towards right but association. I'll explain about graph at last. Okay, okay, now let's go to the main thing. See, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can transport 5 ml of O2 to tissues, and every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood can transport 4 ml of CO2 to alveoli. I know most of you are in confusion. What is this line? I'm unable to understand this thing. Now let us explain both of them clearly. So first I'll explain how deoxygenated blood transports 4 ml of CO2 to alveoli. See, coming to the first case. First case, association occurs in alveoli. I told you na, A for association, A for alveoli. See, in alveoli, see in exchange of gases, I told you clearly that in deoxygenated blood, the PO2 and PCO2, PO2 will be 40 and PCO2 will be 45, whereas in alveoli, the PO2 will be 104 and PCO2 will be 40, and then the gases will diffuse as per the higher partial pressure to lower partial pressure. As we know that this is deoxygenated blood and this is oxygenated blood. Okay, in deoxygenated blood we have RBC and we have plasma also, right? Yeah. In alveoli, coming to the alveoli, we have O2 and CO2, right? And as we know that O2 concentration is more in the alveoli and CO2 concentration is less in alveoli. See, I explained the same thing in exchange of gas also, but there I not explained detailed, but here I'm explaining you in detailed manner so that you will understand everything crystal clearly. Okay, in alveoli the O2 concentration is high, So it goes to, in deoxygenated blood, the O2 concentration is less. It is 40 only. Here 104 to 40. As O2 is going here, O2 and hemoglobin, they form oxyhemoglobin and H plus H plus. Okay. If oxyhemoglobin is formed, this is only association called as. Okay. This is not completed. Still CO2 is left, right? Yeah. CO2 is left. What we know? As a CO2 is less in alveoli, 40, whereas in deoxygenated blood, the CO2 is 45. So CO2 will diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration. So CO2 is diffusing like this. Okay, as CO2 is diffusing, now again go to the chemical equilibrium. If one of the reactant is going on like this, then the forward reaction occurs now. So HbCO2 dissociates into Hb plus CO2. Nothing but carboxyhemoglobin dissociates into hemoglobin and CO2. At the same time, this is an important reaction given in NCERT. But this they not given in NCERT, but this they given in NCERT. Okay, that is a CO2 plus H2 in presence of carboxy anhydrase gives me H2CO3 carbonic acid, and which again dissociates into H plus and HCO3 minus. See, now CO2 is going on. CO2 is going here, going here. So automatically forward reaction occurs, and carboxyhemoglobin dissociates and carbonic acid also dissociates. As carbonic acid is dissociating, H plus is also dissociating. H plus and HCO3, both of them will combine and form H2CO3. So that H2CO3 can dissociate. So what is happening here? We want H plus and HCO3 minus. As here HbO2 and H plus is forming, this H plus is given by this. Okay. So there will be no deficiency of H plus, as here H plus is supplying the H plus to both of them. But HCO3 deficiency is getting. We are getting the HCO3 minus deficiency. To fulfill this deficiency from plasma, the HCO3 minus again comes into the RBC. And how this can happen? This can happen by a reverse chloride shift. As Cl minus comes out, then HCO3 minus goes in. Okay. By common effect, the H plus are coming here. It's nice. But now we want HCO3 minus also now. So these HCO3 minus are supplied by the plasma. Okay. So that this dissociation can occur happily. And then we can CO2 can make get as per the requirement. Okay. In this way, this deoxygenated blood is supplying 4 ml of CO2 to alveoli. In every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood, 4 ml of CO2 is supplied to the alveoli. Is this clear? And now next thing is dissociation. When it happens, when CO2 concentration is more. In tissues, we know that CO2 concentration is more than oxygenated blood. This is oxygenated blood. Okay, in exchange of gases, we also taught the fourth case, right? The exchange of gases between tissue and the oxygenated blood. In oxygenated blood, the O2 concentration is 40 and the CO2 concentration, O2 concentration is 45 and CO2 concentration is 40. In tissues and deoxygenated blood, in both of them, the PO2 is 40 and PCO2 is 45. So O2 is going from 45 to 40 and CO2 is going from 45 to 40. I think it's clear. As O2 is dissociating, again forward reaction is going. So we want more H plus now. We want more H plus. At the same time, here CO2 is also coming and forming carboxyhemoglobin as well as H2CO3. Okay, and here H plus are coming and here also H plus are coming. These H plus are being going to supplied here. Okay, it's nice. Okay, it's nice. But what is happening? Okay, CO2, H2CO3 is forming and H2CO3 by carboxy anhydrase dissociating into H plus and HCO3 minus. Okay, it's nice, very nice. But what is happening? HCO3 minus concentration is increasing, but it crosses a limit, beyond the limit which it should not cross. Okay, and now what happened? The plasma has lesser HCO3 minus as compared to RBC. Okay, this is RBC of oxygenated blood. Okay, so the plasma has less HCO3 minus. So here there is very more HCO3 minus. So this HCO3 minus comes here and Cl minus goes here, and this is called as Hamburger's phenomenon or chloride shift Okay, I think it is clear for you right now. They can ask you many models related to graph. Many models they can ask you related to graph. Okay. I will tell you two types of models. How can they ask from the graph? The first model they will ask is, this is a graph, right? From right side, they will draw another graph. And here beside this is one graph, right? Beside this they'll draw one graph and they'll ask which is more ready to saturate or react with O2. They'll ask that type of question. What I told, if the graph shifts towards right, it is dissociation. If the graph shifts towards left, it is association. And as if the graph came towards right, it is dissociated. And what are the cases for dissociation? O2 concentration is less, then only it will dissociate. So nothing but if the graph is right side of this graph, then it indicates that O2 concentration is less than this, the O2 concentration of other graph is less. So the other graph which is drawn right to this graph will react with more O2. Okay, it will react with O2 readily. Whereas the graph which is left to it will never react with O2. First it will only react with O2. After this only it can react with O2. This is the first type of model they can ask. And the second type of model they can ask is at 50% saturation, what is the partial pressure of oxygen? Nothing but here is 60, right? So here it will be 50. At 50% of saturation, what will be the partial pressure of O2? That's nothing but 30 approximately. That's it, approximate questions they can ask. Okay. Generally, no one will ask if the invigilator wants no one to answer that type of question, then they can ask these type of questions. This is what the topic is finished.